This edition of the Nutgraf, published on 15th of March 2025, is titled Starlink's Toehold in India. Elon Musk finds a small, narrow opening to break into the hardest telecom market in the world. Last week, on Tuesday evening, Airtel announced that it had reached an agreement with SpaceX to distribute Starlink's high-speed internet service to customers in India. By Wednesday morning, the business papers were in a predictable frenzy. In their print edition, the Economic Times published the development prominently on their front page with the headline, "Mittal and Musk chart a surprise orbit." Others gave the news similar level of importance, but with a little less rah-rah and wordplay. But what didn't change is how the development was described. This was a masterstroke, orchestrated by Airtel to get an upper hand over Jio, its competitor. Genius. Well, a few hours later, Reliance Jio came out with an announcement of its own. Jio was also partnering with SpaceX to distribute Starlink's high-speed internet service to customers in India. There were some slight differences in how Jio was partnering with Starlink as opposed to Airtel, but essentially, India's leading telecom companies had one thing in common. Both of them would distribute Starlink along with their existing offering and also help with its installation and support. One of the oddities of India's duopolistic telecom market is that when one company does something, it's declared as a masterstroke. But when two companies do exactly the same thing, well, no one's really sure what to make of it anymore. Honestly, I don't want to overplay the significance of this too much. And I feel this responsibility because a few months ago, I described Starlink's entry to India in these words. Much to the anger, disappointment and frustration of existing telecom operators, mostly led by Reliance Jio, Starlink is on the verge of starting operations in India. What you're listening to is the free version of the Nutgraf podcast. To listen to the complete version, I recommend getting a subscription to the Ken. It's not that expensive. For around 5,000 rupees a year, you will get access not just to this podcast and the other podcasts that we do called 2x2. You will also get access to our wonderful long-form stories written and reported by the team of reporters at the Ken. You'll also get access to our newsletters and many other things. If you don't want that though, and you want to just subscribe to the Nutgraf, you can do that on Apple Podcasts. It's available at just rupees 199 a month. And it just ensures that every Saturday you'll hear me reading out the week's edition of the Nutgraf. Thank you, and I hope you subscribe.